Hi, welcome to Nomis Academy. In this video, we'll be dealing with simple interest. Simple interest. What do we mean by interest? Interest is the additional money that is added to a particular money borrowed for a particular period of time and at a particular rate. What do I mean by this particular time, particular rate, and particular amount of money? So to deal with these parameters that I mentioned in the definition of interest, we start by learning the formula for simple interest. So the formula for simple interest, let me abbreviate it by saying SI, simple interest, is equal to PRT over 100. Now, what do I mean by P? P is the principal money. The principal money. The principal money. Or the principal amount. To say principal amount or principal money that was borrowed. The principal money or the initial money that was borrowed. So this is what we mean by principal, the initial money. This is what we mean by P. And then R is the rate at which the money is borrowed out. Rate at which the money is borrowed out. It is usually in percentage, and percent is what we have down here. So the rate could be 5%, could be 10%, could be 7% at a particular period of time. So this T stands for time. It stands for time. So if I need to calculate the interest of which I should get if I borrow out money for a particular period of time at a particular rate, I will need this formula SI, simple interest, equal to PRT over 100. Let's take an example to see how this works. Example number 1. Find the simple interest. Find a simple interest on 50,000 naira borrowed for 4 years. Borrowed for 4 years at 5% per annum. 5% per annum. So annum simply means in 1 year. So 5% in 1 year. So for me to calculate this simple interest that I'm asked to calculate, the first thing is to go into the formula by stating it that SI, simple interest, is equal to PRT over 100. And now let us begin to impute the parameters of PRT. P is the principal amount, which is 50,000 naira. 50,000 naira multiplied by the rate is 5%. So at 5% per annum. So that's 5%. So all over 100. So multiply by the time to return the money is 4 years. So we have 4 years. 4 years. So we can just reduce it by saying 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. That's what we mean by 50,000 divided by 100. So we'll be left with 500. So 500 multiplied by 5. 500 multiplied by 5. So that will be left. 500 multiplied by 5. Then multiply by 4. So 500 multiplied by 5 is 2,500. 2,500 multiplied by 4. So we have 10,000. We have 10,000. So this is the interest at 5% for 4 years on 50,000 naira. So this is a simple interest to calculate. Now, what happens in a question where the simple interest is given, the principal is not given, and we ask to look for it at a particular rate for a particular period of time? What do we do? Yes, it's as simple as that. We change the subject of the formula. Now, if you can remember, that simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. You are good to go to change the subject of the formula by making the unknown the subject of the formula. So let us find the case for all. So supposing the SI is given, the simple interest is given, and principal is not given, and we're asked to look for principal in a question, then it becomes SI equal to PRT over 100. So what we do from here is we cross multiply so that it becomes simple interest multiplied by 100 equals to PRT. So once you have a straight equation like this, then you can begin to eliminate any other one that is attached to make a particular one the subject of the formula. So supposing in this particular formula now, I want to make P the subject of the formula, then I will have to eliminate RT from this side, and whatever I do to this side, I must do to the other side because there is an equal sign. So I must divide this side too by RT. So R cancel, RT cancel. So I'm left with a P here. So it becomes P equals SI multiplied by 100 all over RT. So the same thing is applicable for rate and for time. Supposing I'm asked to look for the rate at which the money was borrowed, then the formula becomes R the rate equals to SI, that is the simple interest, multiplied by 100 all over PT. And if it is time that I will need to look for, then it becomes T equals to SI multiplied by 100 divided by PR. So you can change the subject of the formula to be any of this. Let's take an example by using any of the subject of the formula to calculate it. So let's say we can reverse the previous question that says that the simple interest on 50,000 naira borrowed for 4 years at 5% per annum is 10,000 naira. So let's assume that the 10,000 naira has been given in a question. So the question becomes that if the simple interest on 50,000 naira is 10,000 naira at the rate of 5% per annum, how many years was the money borrowed? So let's get that question now. Number 2, if the interest, so you can see, you could see a question that will not necessarily ask or say simple interest, just say interest. So if the interest on naira borrowed at 10,000 naira, comma, how many years was the money borrowed? Was the money borrowed? So you can see this question now. I've turned the other way question. So let's see if we are going to have 4 years as our answer. So let's go into the solution. So the first thing we should remember is the formula SI equals to PRT over 100. Now I want to make T the subject of the formula. So what I do is to cross multiply. When I cross multiply, the formula becomes SI simple interest multiplied by 100 equals PRT. And because I want to make T the subject of the formula, I divide both sides by PR. So PR cancel PR, I'm left with a T. So now the T is the formula, is the subject of the formula, SI multiplied by 100 all over PR. So let us begin to put in the parameters of this. The SI, that's the simple interest, is 10,000 according to the question. So this should be 10,000 multiply by 100, multiply by 100, divide by PR. The principal is 50,000. The principal is 50,000. Multiply by the rate is 5%. So 5%. So 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So we are left with 1 here, and we are left with 5 at the side. So T becomes 1 multiplied by 100, and that is 100 over 5 multiplied by 5, we have 25. So 100 divided by 25 is 4 years. So the money was borrowed for 4 years. You could see that we could get the time taken for the money to be borrowed again. I believe you understood everything we learned in this video. Bye bye. See you in the next video.